is far too late. Far too freaking late for me. I would have preferred to lift a bit earlier today, but I spent a good chunk of time sleeping. Freaking sleeping, I can tell. Not to the point where I'm gonna skip the gym, but I feel kind of systemically fatigued a little bit. To the point where if tonight, after I finish this chest day, if I feel real rough tomorrow, it might just be time for a rest day. I'm not anti-rest day. This is something that, whoa, passing a guy on an electric scooter. But so I'm not anti-rest day. That's a misconception. I am, however, anti-unnecessary rest day. Right? Pinpointing the term unnecessary. You know, because if I lift legs, chest, back, and then arms, or if you do push, pull legs, and then it's time to do push again. Fuck, man. If you feel good, you're nice and well rested and well fed, you feel decently recovered to the point where whatever body part you're about to train feels fresh and strong, and then you go to the gym and you have a good workout. Fuck, man. I say keep it up. No problem with that there. Now, this is coming from my perspective because I've never really taken like planned rest days. Like I've never had a rest day a week, which I'm not saying it may not improve my gains. I'm sure I'll probably try it eventually, just not yet. But as far as I'm concerned, if I feel fresh, I want to train. But opposite side of that coin, if I feel like I'm not just kind of tired, like, oh, I'm kind of sleepy, like if I do feel systemically fatigued, then I may say, let's just save the lift for tomorrow, and it'll be more productive. I'll be a more, well, just recovered fucking machine. You gotta remember, before your body is gonna handle muscle growth, it's got to deal with just baseline repair of any other kind of fatigue and damage that's been done. So if you're totally fucking out of it because like you got zero sleep or like 3 hours of sleep for like 2 nights in a row, you're just fucking groggy. And this is something which can be a little bit of a good gauge for that. Of course, you can buy like a really fancy bed and like a watch, like, combination, and it can like read you your sleep score and your level of recoveredness. I don't know what that's called, but like that's some shit there. But it's kind of, I don't know. I don't think that's for everybody. It's kind of extra fancy. I may look into that in the future because those are some kind of important metrics I may want to look into. But a more bro science-y tactic on how well, or for the most part, how well recovered you are is your grip strength. Right? So if you can just sit here and make a fist, right? If you can seriously fucking squeeze and you're exerting a pretty solid amount of effort and like it's actually transferring into your grip strength, or maybe like sometimes it helps to grab something, like you could grab two of your fingers and really give them a good squeeze. If you do this on a consistent basis, like every so often you just kind of like test that, then on days where you're super well rested, super well recovered, well fed, well everything hydrated, your grip is going to be nice and strong. You can tell you've got a lot of fucking power in your hands. And on days where you feel like shit, and I do want you to try this just because it is kind of cool. Days where you feel like shit, you didn't drink enough, you're definitely dehydrated, then you'll notice when you try to really squeeze hard, you're not going to be able to exert as much force as normal. And if you want to take that a level further, you should get a dynamometer, that grip strength reader. And if you were to record your numbers when you're super strong, or when you're super well rested, fed, and recovered, you're going to be able to excuse me, you're going to be able to squeeze a really high reading for you. And on days where your recovery is not there, that number is going to be lower. So that can be a little bit of a gauge on whether or not you should take a rest day or just chill. But I don't know, even then, it's like, even if I'm not completely recovered, and maybe this is just a bro sciencey run into a brick wall till you get through it kind of mentality. But even if I kind of feel like shit, then I still want to kind of work out. It's in a sense, like, I almost feel like that's like a test of my own. Well, just a testament to how bad I want it. Where it's like, I don't care how fucking tired I am, I want to hit the gym. But as of late, I have gotten a little bit more wise to the point where I can say, like, all right, I know that this workout is not going to be as productive as if I were to just save it for tomorrow, take today to rest, really catch up on my meals, get a lot of extra sleep, hydrate. And that's just something that you kind of have to, get in the groove with. I think there's two mentalities that you could start with, right? I mean, let's just be kind of frank and maybe a little bit mean. There's the pussy mentality, where that's where you might feel even just a little bit sleepy, or just you're maybe not even in the mood for a workout. And this is like first year lifter, and you're like, I don't really feel like, I don't think today will be a good workout. I'm gonna stay home. I think somebody with that mentality in the beginning is, if they're only going to the gyms on the days where they're scheduled to go, they feel nice and energized and excited, and any hint of uncomfortability or just tiredness, or maybe just you're not even excited, backs you away and makes you say, I'll save the gym for tomorrow. If you're waiting for the perfect day I was about to say to go gym, to go to the gym, have a lift, fuck, man. If that's your criteria for whether you should go or stay home, I don't think you're going to make well, you might make some progress. Any amount of lifting is better than none, right? That's pretty obvious. But I don't think you're going to make legit progress, and definitely not long-term progress. So, in that sense, I kind of prefer the more baller mentality of, fucking whatever it takes. I don't care if I got zero sleep. I don't care if I'm fucking sick. I don't care if anything. I'm going to the gym when I'm scheduled to do it. I'm going to push myself hard. If I'm weak because I feel a little bit fatigued, whatever. A set of 315 when you're extra strong versus a set of like 250 when you feel a little bit weaker. As long as you take both of those sets to failure, you're exerting yourself the same amount, right? Like, even if a big dude is curling the 80s for 10 reps and he hits legitimate failure at 10, then that set is just as hard as one that a beginner lifter could do with the 30s if at rep 10 that beginner also hit failure. So the weight is almost it's just a number, like, it is cool, of course, progressive overload, love it, want to get stronger, bigger over time. But I think the guy who has that fucking sort of dog in him mentality where nothing's going to stop him, he's going to make better gains. Now, sure, some of his workouts may be potentially less productive because, if he's like sick as a dog, if you're really sick as shit, and then you still try to work out, I'm not sure your body's really going to have the fucking energy to really recuperate itself and pack on some muscle tissue. It's kind of preoccupied with dealing whatever the fuck you're infected with. But even though that lifter may have a few extra subprime lifts, the more, middle quality, high quality lifts that he's going to have, as well as just the discipline factor, which is going to come with going even when you don't feel like it, and especially when you really don't fucking feel like it, that's going to translate. And once that guy gets the idea in his head, like, okay, I am actually fatigued, it is going to be better for me to take a rest day, that guy who can come to that realization, he's going to be set up for some serious fucking success. It's not like when I hear people talk about not wanting to work out, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm out of the loop, like I'm a little bit spoiled. Like, I'll hear dudes like, 5 out of 10 times I don't even want to work out. I don't know, man. More like 99 out of 100 times I do want to fucking work out. And that 1 out of 100, that's when outside factors are kind of messing with me. If I'm extra sick, if I'm real fucking tired, if I was insanely busy with something, or on the very rare occasion, if I'm like just like thinking about some shit in my life. Luckily, that hasn't been too much stuff there. I've been kind of smooth sailing when it comes to my mentality as of late, which I don't think is just by chance. I think it helps to have a little bit of a stoic mindset and not to let anything, really fuck with you when it comes to shit that you like and want to keep doing, progress wise. But that's its own speech entirely. But whenever I do have something that's really kind of messing with me, and I'm like, oh crap, fuck. This is where I was talking about this in the last drive home from the gym. You've got your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. So for me, if I'm sick or if I'm tired or if I was really busy and I'm just maybe out of the zone, subconsciously the thought may arise in my fucking head, which this happens for everybody. Like, oh dude, just take a rest day. Just skip. Just go easy. Just go easy today. Right? And that's a subconscious thought. Can't be controlled. Spontaneous. It means nothing until you actually give it, power by consciously, affirming it, right? If that thought arises, then you start to think, no, it would be better if I just stayed at, right? So that's where you kind of have to have the ability to put your foot down with yourself and say, I'm not a fucking baby. Come on, let's get real, right? Or maybe, think about anything, I when I started lifting, I was watching Baki, and some days I was kind of irresponsible when I was in high school. And not like in life. I mean, like I'd put off like assignments and shit to the point where it'd be like midnight and I haven't lifted yet. I gotta wake up at 6 to go to school, or like 6:30 or whatever. And I've got a home gym, barbells, a rack, dumbbells, whatever. And I'm laying in bed and I'm like, fuck, am I really gonna skip the gym today? And I would say, what would Baki do? Would Baki fucking skip the gym and go to sleep like a fucking chump? No, man, come on, you fucking train. So whatever you got to do to get in that mentality of like, all right, let's get fucking real. Play a hype song, just get your music thumping. And the last thing that you want to do in any of those circumstances where you're like, oh, I don't know if I should really go. This is for, whenever you're kind of teetering on skipping or staying home. And if you need a rest day, take one, of course. But if you don't, and you know it, and you're just being a baby, then do not make yourself comfortable. Right? If it's 11 o'clock and you got to go to the gym, you got like a Planet Fitness membership, they're open all night. Do not cozy up in bed and think, okay, I'll get up in a few minutes. I've done this before, straight to sleep, As soon as you put your head down on the pillow, oh, it's 5 a.m., fuck. You just skipped a lift, man. Come on. So, don't lay down. Keep moving. Right? Play a video. Just get your pre-workout ready. Get in the car. Drive to the gym. The likelihood that you're going to skip if you're teetering on the edge of not going at home and you haven't even taken any action to go to the gym, if you're really on the edge, you got a pretty high probability of fucking failure and just whatever, staying home. And the more often you do that, the more often you're probably going to do it in the future, right? You kind of want to be an unstoppable force. So get in the car, get your pre-workout, get some music, get some music playing, get hyped up, and then drive to the gym. I can say with certainty, I probably even more than that, but let's just say this for simplicity's sake, 9 out of 10 times you're going to do your lift because you're already there, you're already in the zone, you're in your lifting state, right? So even if on the drive there you're not really excited, whatever, by the time you actually get to the gym, you do a few warm-up sets, that should get you back in the zone. But if you don't really want to be in a situation like that, that's when it helps to have just a responsible handle on your schedule where you never have to delay your lift until 11 o'clock at night. Or, you never have to be staying up extra late to finish some stuff that you procrastinated, and then you're extra tired for your lift tomorrow. The better you prepare, food-wise, schedule-wise, rest-wise, hydration-wise, then you're just going to feel good. And the better you feel, the more likely it is you're going to actually want to go to the gym just because you fucking feel good. Like, when you prepare yourself like that, well rested, well hydrated, everything, it just kind of turns into an upward spiral because you're like, oh shit, I feel fucking good. Then you go to the gym, you start lifting, like, oh shit, I feel fucking strong. And then you, I mean, fast forward an hour, holy crap, I'm fucking pumped. Guess what? Successful day as a lifter, the likes of which you should try to maximize. And I can say that with certainty. But it's currently 10:10. Since I'm just doing chest, I don't think this will take too long. But I'll probably actually get out of the car at like 10:13 or something. So let's see how long this workout takes. Okay, so this is in preparation for some incline dumbbell bench, but with some movements, I warm up with the first working set or the first working exercise. Like for back, if I'm going to start on, lat pull downs or cable rows, I'm just going to do a row with light weight, gradually go heavier, 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 and then I'm ready for my working set. But when it comes to chest specifically, I put a lot more effort into the warm up. So I sit on the cable for probably 10 minutes and I kind of circulate pretty much 3 movements primarily. Kind of some cross body presses, just to get my chest kind of warmed up, activated. I wouldn't say pumped. I'm not really doing working sets, but I am, putting it under some load. And then tricep push downs. Not like my triceps are really coming into play too much, especially not on dumbbell bench, because, you got to remember, if you're down here and your triceps do a bunch of work, it's just going to throw the weight to the side. Incline dumbbell, it's pretty much all chest, but they still get worked, and it does make me feel better to have my elbows exposed to some weight before I start heavy pressing. And then a little bit of face pulls, kind of rotator cuff warm up, because if I have cold shoulders and I throw something really heavy up here, fuck man, I'm asking for trouble. Crunchy rep, sucks. But pretty much those 3 are my go-to warm-ups. I'll kind of run through a little bit of it and clip it, but let's fast forward a few minutes to the first set of dumbbell. Oh, that's way too heavy. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I'll sit here a little longer. Then let's get chest started for real. Okay, I've touched the 110s, 130s, time for 150s. Let me get an extra cool song going. Come on. Oh my god. This feels fucking heavy today. Let's run it up. Oh my fuck yeah. Ah. Okay. One more. Holy shit. Oh my god, fuck. Okay. That's enough of that. Let's move on to something else. This set will be on the lighter side rather than trying to really maximize my pressing force. I'm gonna try to go for a gnarly fucking squeeze at the bottom. So not as heavy as I can go, but as heavy as I can do pretty controlled reps with and really squeeze as if I'm trying to fucking pop my chest like a balloon. Yeah. Okay. One more like that. Oh my god. Ah. Okay. Let's get something else going. I'm not sure what though. I need to think about it. Okay, so I have I've been made aware and I'm bleeding a little bit through my shirt. Not from popping a pimple. That's OG like year ago type vibes. Uh, my back acne was fucking, well, honestly, my acne all over, shoulders, arms, back, everything. If you're curious about how that went away, it was Accutane. That was not the first move. I tried all the like antibiotics sort of topical shit first because Accutane's kind of a big move, but it did clear me up. But no, so right there, kind of like that portion of my shoulder blade, same thing on the other side. That's where I squat. Like when I squat, I kind of have like calluses built up on my back because that's where most of the pressure must be. Or maybe that's where the knurling is, but I guess I've got fucking dry skin. I probably need to moisturize. But I'm thinking cable flies here, not conventional style, because you got to think about this. You can do flies in a few different ways. And one I don't like, one I like, and the other one I also like. So really, two I like, one I don't. I don't really love having the cables lower than shoulder height and then trying to do like incline focus flies because I feel like I get a lot of front delt activation when I do that. That could just be me though. I'm not saying that as like a rule for everyone. And then you can do them shoulder height, kind of right in front of you, like a straight body fly. I do like those. And you can also bend over a touch and kind of do high to low flies. And I'm not really one to do a ton of decline work. I want to really work my upper chest. My lower chest is meaty enough. But with these flies, I feel like I'm not doing like a decline press at the bottom, even though I'm down here in the declining action. I feel like I'm just flexing my whole chest, like sitting here and squeezing my hands together. Lower chest firing, mid chest, upper chest, everything is just fucking going bananas. So I think a set or two here, sort of decline style, moderate weight too, like definitely lighter than I usually would go. Partially because I can feel my elbow pit is a little tender in my forearm area. Um, that's probably because I'm not super well rested right now. So little things like that kind of flare up a little bit. But also, I kind of feel like I've done the heavy shit. Now I really want to burn out and just fully pump up my chest. So two, honestly, yeah, probably two, maybe three here. And this might be it. Only a three movement chest day. Maybe. I gotta find out. Let me get my music playing. I've been listening to a lot of Skillet today. Here we go. Not gonna die is going especially hard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think one or two like that. That could be it. Yeah. Okay. One more. And then done. Don't start lying that shit out of you. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's go pose down. All done. Oh, all right. I was getting ready to pose down in my typical spot, but there's a guy kind of right in front of the mirror. And I'm like, I'll take my shirt off, whatever pose. I'm not going to jump straight in front of somebody doing their business. So, secondary lighting spot it is. But what do you think? What do you think? Four answers on the board. What is underneath of this fucking shirt? Is it, A, a freaky ass fucking chest pump? That's probably what my money's on. Is it B, I just look flat as shit? Is it C? What else would be surprising? Is it a complete chest piece of a tattoo? Like the stereotypical kind of Andrew Tate looking like lion or whatever? Or I guess three answers. You already know the answer. We all already know the freaking answer here. So let's just check it out. Fucking hell. Hui. Ah. Oh, let's migrate. My favorite posing spot just opened. Okay, so you tell me, but I mean, I'm relatively sure this lighting is a bit freakier. So let's, oh yeah. I fucking love it. Oh, oh, that pose is definitely cooler when I'm extra cut down. Because my abs are going a bit crazier, don't have so much softness on me. But still, fuck. I mean, even this many cuts on a bulk, it's fucking too much. I gotta start trimming down. Or no, what am I saying? I gotta start really putting in food so I can get fucking heavier. It's like, it's cool still seeing a little bit of chest striations, but come on, that's not the point of the bulk. You know, I want to really fucking pack some serious size on. But let's get a front lat spread, one more side chest, and then we can get out of here. Oh, okay. Chest pumped. I'm fucking tired. I'm ready for a good night's sleep. Let's skedaddle. Okay. Chest. Chest is freaking done. I am freaking done. With the lift, that is. And now I get to go home, eat some food, have some sweets. Sweets and steaks. I think that's well, steak, singular, not plural. And I should be able to go to sleep a happy freaking camper. So I think I know exactly what I got to talk about here. And I cannot stress this enough that you need to understand, especially in picture and video, your body fat level is going to play a substantial role in not only how you look in general, but also how big you look, right? There could be a guy 40 fucking pounds lighter than me, 50 pounds lighter than me, but if he's diced and we're posing together, like sure, I may, be a little bit like larger in the frame, but his ass is gonna look fucking cooler, right? Because he's got fucking cuts and striations and veins all over the place. And even somebody who's like legit smaller can kind of hold their own against someone who's bigger than them if they've got more body fat. And, that's just a fact of life, right? Or a fact of, our fucking human perception of shit. But what a lot of people take that as is just, okay, I can never put on too much body fat because it's going to make me look smaller. I don't want to look smaller. I don't want to lose my cuts. I just want to stay where I am. If you're floating around like 10%-ish body fat, reasonably lean, you got veins when you're pumped, you can see your abs, it's a very comfortable state of being. But you got to remember, just being comfortable, you're not going to fucking get anywhere, right? A ship is safe in the harbor, but that's not what it's really fucking meant for, So people who are discouraged by bulking due to the fact that they're like, oh well, I don't want to lose my abs, I don't want to lose my veins, I don't want to look like subjectively worse than I do now. You're looking at the fucking, you're looking at the picture way too close up, man. You got to back up and understand, if your weight is plateaued, and like, I'd say for the beginner lifter, for the most part, unless you're like chronically skinny, I mean like fucking bones, where in that case you really got to start packing on calories ASAP to just get some fucking mass on your body. But for the most part, for the beginner lifter, I'm not going to say jump on an insane bulk. It's just not necessary yet. I'd say main gaining is really probably the name of the game there. Eat your protein, however many pounds you weigh, about 2 grams, or no, what am I talking? 2 grams. About a gram of protein to match that is about right. So if you're a 180-pound lifter, if you get about 180 grams of protein, I don't think there's any need to go higher than that. But that's about right. And that's pretty conventionally agreed upon. Some guys are going to say you don't need that much. Other kind of maybe more old school guys are going to say you should do upwards of like 2 grams per pound of body weight. I'll say this: if you do a gram per pound, you're probably in the green. You're probably good. So eat your protein. Maybe try to get a few extra cups of rice or a few extra helpings at your family's dinner every night, and just lift hard. You can make some solid gains. But if you're plateaued, if you've been lifting hard and you do want to get bigger, but the scale isn't changing and you're just staying the same fucking weight, you got to make a serious move, because you're not progressing, you're just maintaining. So if the cost of growing is a little bit of extra body fat on you for, a period of time, not as freaky pumps, you're not covered in veins or whatever, then fuck it, man, that's what you got to do. Don't be discouraged by getting a little bit softer for the fact, or because it's for the sake of growing. And then you'll be able to cut down, and you should have a little bit more muscle mass after the end of that little process. So the guys who are too afraid to bulk up, long-term gains, if I shake a fucking magic 8-ball, not likely. Right? And same thing with guys who are afraid to cut down, because I'm not going to say you can't just continue gaining weight perpetually, but from my experience, I find it's much easier to bulk for a period of time, usually pretty long, and then do kind of a short, pretty serious dieting phase where I really drop down to a calorie deficit. Like, I really do have to track and make sure that I'm under a certain limit so that I can lose body fat progressively over the course of that little, dieting phase. But a reasonably long bulk, but eventually, the simplest way to put it is I just fucking get tired of food, like, not because I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry, I'm going to stop the bulk, but I do reach a point where as the bulk progresses, I'm eating more and more calories to continue gaining weight, and it's not like I could ever oh goodness, it's not like I could ever eat 10,000 calories per day on a consistent basis. That's just not fucking maintainable. Even upwards of 5,000 to around 6,000, that's as much as I can do on a daily basis for just a short period of time, like only probably a month, 2 months, and then it's just fucking too much. I can't keep pushing it. Literally to the point where, my body itself, it's like I'm just not fucking hungry at all. So when I ended my last bulk and started dieting down, that first week, I was eating like fucking 1,400 calories. And not because I was trying to like crash diet, but just because I wasn't fucking hungry, My, just my appetite, everything. It's like, in a way, your body kind of, wants to stay in homeostasis. It wants to stay the same size, the same everything. So in order to change, you've got to give it a stimulus which is intense enough for it to fucking have to adapt. So be it your training, obviously if you train like a fucking baby, that's not going to be intense enough for your body to say, holy shit, I got to fucking grow and prepare to do this again next time. If you just go to the gym like a chump, your biceps are going to be like, oh yeah, heck yeah, another easy workout. No need to recover, we're good. Or, no. Of course they're going to recover, but no need to grow. They're good enough, right? And similarly with food, if I just ate 4,000 calories on a consistent basis, eventually I would reach a size where 4,000 calories was my maintenance, and I wouldn't gain any more weight, no matter how hard I tried. Because every day, your body burns a certain amount of energy, and in order to stay the same body weight, you have to consume that same amount of energy, right? So If my body needs 4,000 calories a day to just, maintain the amount of muscle I have and support, my daily activity level, cardio, walking around doing my normal shit, and a hard lift, then I've got to eat 4,000 just to, keep that routine up. And if I want to grow, I got to eat, you know, I like at least a 500 calorie surplus. I'm never too like specific with it like that, but I do make sure I'm eating enough food to actually be growing. And then, that 500 extra calories, it's got to go somewhere. And part of it is just, nutrient partitioning because you're eating more. You're literally just taking in more mass than you're expelling. So it's got to go somewhere. Muscle and body fat primarily. That's really the only fucking way to do it. There is no circumstance whatsoever where I could stay a 250 pounder or 260 pounder by eating 2,500 calories a day. It's just not fucking feasible. That's too low. That amount of calories per day is going to make me fucking shrink down to the size at which that's maintenance. And that's going to be fucking lighter. Right? So the point I'm trying to say here, apart from the fact that in some instances a bulk and a cut are necessary, and you shouldn't be a wuss about the fact that if you bulk up, you are going to get a little bit softer, and if you cut down, you are going to get a little bit weaker. Right? Just fucking deal with it. But secondary to that, or honestly maybe even more important than that I'm trying to get across to you, is the fact that calories are the number one factor which are going to determine whether or not you can make changes to your physique in terms of size and body fat percentages. Body fat, not distribution, but the amount that you have on you. There is no world in which you can fucking lose body fat eating 5,000 calories a day. Unless you're Michael Phelps and you're burning it off because you're swimming in like a fucking really cold pool for hours on end and you're constantly doing cardio. Now, if that's you, that's fucking badass. You're an Olympic athlete. You probably got a bazillion gold medals. But more than likely, that is not you. So you're not going to be able to fucking just chow down and stay lean eating as much food as you need. Right? If you want to lose body fat, then there's no secret. There's no trick. Really, the only thing that you need to do is make sure that you're eating less calories than you're burning. So your body has to, say, holy shit, I need more energy. Where am I going to get it from? Well, there's no more food in my system. I already burned that all off. My muscles aren't really full of that much glycogen because I'm not really eating that much. I guess I'm going to have to oxidize some fucking body fat so I can, run this shit. Right? Your body, I'm trying to... It's almost like you're a car and you've got two gas tanks. One gas tank, let's call that like your reserve tank or whatever, right? That's your backup generator. That's the body fat that you have stored up. And then your other gas tank, which you're constantly filling, that's like the food that you're eating every day. So if you kind of stop filling up that gas tank, which you're usually, filling up every day, that's, what I'm trying to compare to the food that you're eating, then you're going to have to go off that reserve. And I'm not sure why this is so problematic to people. For the most part, lifters get it. We can all wrap our head around the fact that if you want to lose body fat, you have to eat less calories. Adding cardio is going to help that substantially. I know you're probably not going to do that though. So if you can count your calories and be a big boy and actually track your shit and be honest with yourself and weigh it on the scale, like, okay, 8 ounces of turkey with 30 grams of buffalo sauce. Okay, I gotta read the nutrition label on the back of the sauce and count how many calories of or how many grams of fat I just ate. That's really the only fucking way to go about it. Now, when you do diets, or if like you have a bodybuilding coach and he gives you like a dieting plan, sure, you are following what he's telling you, 2 cups of rice in the morning with your 8 ounces of ground chicken. But the special part isn't that you're eating rice and chicken or whatever. It's that throughout the entire day, the food that he's giving you to try and bring your body fat level down is only enough to put you in a calorie deficit, or at the very least, maintenance. Because let's say you're already getting pretty lean and you don't want to over diet for, let's say you're doing a bodybuilding show, right? So I I think it's very strange that this is even a topic that requires discussion. And I know I'm not like, I don't put myself in the best position to give dieting advice because I'm fucking eating like treats and shit all the time. But, if you're doing stuff that lets you get to this size, you do end up having a much higher metabolism, so you can get away with fucking eating a ton of sweet treats and whatever else. But even though I'm doing that, you gotta understand this is all calories in, calories out. I'm not attesting to the fucking, health effects of eating 6 donuts for breakfast every so often. But I will say, if I can eat in a day 800 grams of carbs, 150 grams of fat, and my 250 grams of protein, when I couple that with my training and cardio and everything else, I know that I'm going to grow. And once this bulk is over, I'm like, okay, it's time to trim down. I want to put myself in a situation where I'm losing body fat, then I'm still going to eat my, 250 grams of protein or so, around maybe 75, 80 grams of fat, and I'm going to cut my carbs all the way down to fucking maybe 200, 250 grams per day or something. No matter what sources all that shit is from, whether it's fucking, spicy chicken sandwiches or cereal or whatever, as long as at the end of the day I hit those macros, I am going to be able to stay in a calorie deficit and burn body fat and get leaner. Now, in a dieting phase, I am much more prone to eating much what you'd kind of consider like healthier, normal foods because they're more filling for the amount of calories that are in them. If I eat a bowl of ice cream and I'm trying to diet down, I can eat about 800 calories and I'd probably be hungry in like an hour because it's not very filling. So when I diet down, I do eat foods that are much more, or much less calorie dense. I'm talking keto bread. I'm talking a lot of egg white omelets with just hot sauce and a lot of like, chopped spinach and shit. Stuff where I can be full, but not have a ton of calories. So take with that what you will. If you see, typically it's body positive characters. They do not love the idea of calories in, calories out. And I mean, they are wrong, 100% fucking wrong. But I can understand why they wouldn't really want to, kind of follow that logic, because it kind of makes food a little bit of a chore. Like before I was bodybuilding, as serious as I am now, and I was just like a fucking kid in high school. I was eating like just fucking stupid shit, like whatever. Oh, I'm hungry for this. Okay, eat it, whatever. Like that was my approach. And once you get into calorie tracking and like you're tracking your macros and like how much protein is in everything, people kind of have this misconception that that's gonna ruin their perception of food. And they're like, oh, I don't want to look at food like it's numbers. I want to just be able to enjoy it. I don't want to feel bad for eating, this or so. But if your goal is to actually change the way you look and you fucking build, and turn it into something that you want to, then that's just part of the deal. You got to accept it. And really, I only see the fucking benefits. Nobody starts tracking their macros and then says, wow, I hate that I have to do this. Actually, well, I feel like they say that in a kind of joking way. But, I don't know. For me, I always kind of, like whenever I eat something, I always know how many calories I'm eating within a pretty reasonable range of estimation. Just because I look at I order a fucking burger at a restaurant. Oh, that's 40 grams of carbs with a bun. No, it's kind of, I can tell this is sort of a fatter cut of a beef. I'm probably getting like 20, 30 grams of fat, including the mayonnaise or whatever. And then that's probably about 40 grams of protein worth a patty. Like that sort of thing. But fuck, man, that's just part of the game. Nobody wants to gain a freaky amount of muscle and look nuts because they want to do everything that a fucking normal average Joe is doing. So I say once you start tracking your macros, you're not going to want to look back. You are not going to want to freaking look back. So I think that's all I got to say. That is my conclusive note. So, final statements. Train hard. Hit your protein goals. If you got to grow, fuck man, start eating. And if you can tell you're kind of pushing it body fat wise, you want to bust your abs out again, you're going to have to deal with being a bit more strict with your calories. And there's just no other way to go about it. But that's all I got. So I'll see you tomorrow for a back day. I may include a little bit of rear delts, just kind of because I want to throw them in every so often. But I guess we will have to see then. Cardio in the morning as always. And I think I have a fucking exam tomorrow. Shit. I'm pretty sure it's later in the day, so I've got some time to prep for it. So, wish me luck. But I will see you next time.